My name is Dominique Griffith. I'm originally from Philadelphia, PA, 25 years old, and I currently live in Hell's Kitchen, Midtown in Manhattan, in New York City. There's not even a time where, or a milestone where I could think like, oh, I'm gay. It's so weird. It was almost just like, when I was younger, I had crushes on the guys instead of the girls and stuff like that. I felt like I was always the type of person to be friends with everyone and you know, a connector, a liaison or whatever to any group of people and stuff. I did feel like within my own community that I was often made fun of a lot of times because of my sexuality and because of my expression of myself. And whereas at times the white community were a little bit more accepting, I feel like they couldn't figure me out. Like they didn't know if I was just super eccentric or just artsy. Whereas a lot of my black peers, they were just like, oh, this dude's gay. There was some resentment earlier on in my life about that and stuff. And it really, I was just, you know, for the most part, like sick and tired of being made fun of, you know, and I was made fun of a lot of times for me being myself. And I think it was in high school, then I came to the realization, like, Dom, like, you're you, and, you know, you need to just do your own thing. And eventually in high school, I think I came out at 17, and, you know, I found out that surprisingly enough, the black community was just as accepting as, you know, my white friends and stuff like that, or, you know, or Asian friends or Hispanic and any other. So I felt that that was very comforting to know that, you know, people that look like me were very accepting of my sexuality, because earlier on in my life, it wasn't the case. So I went to school at American University in DC. There was a period where everything was very new to me. So you know, I was excited to go out and do all these things and associate with other people that are gay in DC. Early on, I started noticing that there was a divide in the community and a type of, you know, that kind of manifests in the way that people treated me or approached me or spoke with me. Or I was always sexualized a lot more than a lot of my peers were, particularly my white gay peers. And it was almost like I was good for, you know, to be in bed with or something like that. Good for, you know, a hookup, or good for a good kiss or something like that. But I never could have, when I was younger, I didn't know how to navigate and take it to the next level to make it become something more real or more substantial. And I realize now it's because a lot of times gay men of color are often sexualized in a way that our white peers aren't. And unfortunately, I had to experience that very early on in my college experience of what that was about. And a lot of my friends couldn't pinpoint it as well too. And I think some of them do know now. It's just growing and speaking with me, or just, you know, living life in general. But, you know, I didn't have the same experience as a lot of my white gay peers. I had a friend who wanted me to introduce me to this other guy who actually was black as well too. And, you know, very attractive. We were vibing well. We were talking the whole night and stuff like that. And, you know, I thought that this could be something, or we could, like, you know, take this to another level and maybe like go on a date or something like that. And throughout the night we were vibing well, and then asked my friend, I was like, oh, like, you know, what's up? Do you think he's interested? Like, what's still? And he's like, oh, you know, I don't think he's your type. He said that you're not his type, and whatever, so I'm fine with that. Ended up, later on in the night, he meets this other guy, happens to be white, they vibe and stuff like that. Real talk, the guy was not attractive whatsoever, but he just happened to be white, and the other guy connected with him and ended up, you know, for lack of a better word, getting with him at the end of the night. I've seen this play out so many times, particularly when interacting with men of color or trying to date men of color. It's been very difficult for me, only because I feel that there's an unspoken hierarchy within the gay community, and it's magnified many times when you're dealing with dating people of color. It's almost like, you know, you have to, I don't know, you're almost set back being a person of color when you want to date another person of color. Or even if you don't want to date another person of color, they subscribe, I guess they're subscribing to this notion that a lot of white gays have of, you know, white is right and lighter is better, and the less African or or less ethnic features that you have, the more attractive you are. I feel like there's a lot of gay people of color that don't necessarily have this self-love and don't necessarily put themselves on a pedestal of acknowledging their race and knowing their beauty and knowing their power necessarily, and they tend to go with the flow a lot of times and not necessarily speak up on certain issues or connect with other people that are thinking the same way, and kind of go throughout life ignorant to these things. Not necessarily ignorant in the sense that they've never experienced it, but ignorant on how to, have a dialogue about it and explore them more. I think that there needs to be a lot more of a dialogue amongst our community with that so we can move forward.